metric. Saks Fifth Avenue president and CEO. Mark, what are you expecting this holiday season? Help us understand what's going on.
Well, Leslie, I have to tell you that Matt Shea and the guys at the NRF are geniuses. No, we are cautiously optimistic about the holiday. We're feeling, and if you read and think about how they're approaching it, it's about the shift from experiential into products and goods. And I feel good. I think the consumer's ready. They want to splurge. They want to indulge. They want some escapism. It's the holidays. So it's cautious optimism, but it's certainly optimism.
No.
I think you just told us, because I think it's going to be a strong holiday season. And I think it's going to be a strong holiday season in my kind of retail, because the experiences aren't there. Restaurants aren't there. You can't throw a party. The cases of champagne don't have to be bought. You don't have to pay the caterers. None of that's going to happen. It's all going into sweaters. So, yes, I'm enthusiastic. I think we'll see sales up in the 5% range. And I would have never dreamed that when all this started.
Let's get over to Rick Santelli. He's standing by at the CME in Chicago. And Rick, the numbers, please.
Yes, we're waiting November's read. This is the advanced read on retail sales. And we're looking for a negative number. You know, realize this number hasn't been negative since April, when it was at its worst negative, minus 14.7. And it delivered negative, minus 1.1. So not only is it negative, it's 3 times as bad as we anticipated at minus 1.1. And comps to that exact month I pointed to, April, at minus 14.7, of course. That was followed by one of the biggest positives ever, 18.3. We'll have to wait and see if that happens next month. If we strip out autos and gas, we're minus 0.8. Strip out only autos, we're minus 0.9. So these are not good numbers, all much worse than we anticipated. And I'm waiting for the control number. I haven't seen it run across the wire services yet. That is the number that becomes the compare. It is minus 0.5. Boy, wasn't that fun to wait for. Minus 0.5. That's the worst control number since April as well.
Let's move on to cover some data about consumer spending during this holiday season. Remember that Saks CEO predicted that the consumer is flush with cash and they cannot wait to splurge this holiday season and buy luxury goods. Furthermore, you heard from that asshole on CNBC who said that the consumer is going to have plenty of spare cash to spend this holiday season because they don't need to spend on bottles of champagne and hire caterers this holiday season because they're not going to be doing parties anymore. So that cash will go on to be spent on sweaters and other useless shit. But here it is, the real data. Christmas shopping season has been one big bust. Data from these 30 million people show. And who predicted this, by the way? This channel ahead of time told you that the consumer is very weak. Forget about the splurging and all the pornographic fantasies from Wall Street CEOs. Santa's sleigh looks like he will be coming down on rooftops this Christmas Eve, much lighter than most on Wall Street expected. Surprise, surprise. At least that is the hot read from some less than cheery new data out of JP Morgan. Total spending on 30 million Chase credit and debit cards dropped 5.4% year over year from 4 weeks before Black Friday through December 14th. What JP Morgan calls card present spending has crashed 18% from a year ago for the holiday season to date. And here is the chart illustrating to you how big of a drop in consumer spending we are experiencing this holidays season. So always listen to these geniuses on Wall Street and the business news media because they obviously know everything.